Matthew chapter 20. Matthew chapter 20 is a continuation from Matthew chapter 19. Remember in chapter 19 at the end, when the disciples came to Jesus and they said to him, what they're going to get. They asked him what they're going to get because they left their family and they left their house and left land and all sort of different things to follow Jesus. So what reward they going to get? And Jesus tell them, they're going to sit up on the 12th tribe of Israel. I'm judging the 12th tribe of Israel. Also, he tell them that whoever leave all these things to follow me, I leave all these things for my sake and the gospel's sake, they're going to receive 100-fold. Okay, so now let's go to chapter 20 and hear what chapter 20 start off with.
Matthew chapter 20.
God kingdom coming like one man we own one farm. Him go away early in the morning go take on some workman for him grape farm. Him and them work out saying we pay them one normal day work pay. And then him send them go upon him grape farm to start the work. About 9 o'clock in the morning, him go away again and see some more man a turn up in the market, nah do nothing. So him go to them and say, Uno go on down at the grape farm too. And me we pay uno whatever uno forget. So them go. Him go back out about middle day. And 3 o'clock too. And him do the said thing. And about 5 o'clock, him go out again and find some more man just a turn up about the place now do a thing. So him ask them say, why me couldn't turn up here so whole day now do nothing? Them answer back, cause nobody now giving a work, sir. So him say to them say, no go and go work pan me grape farm too. When evening come down now, the farm owner say to him manager say, call the workman them and pay them. Start with the last set of man them when me take on and pay all of them down to the first set. When the one them we start work about 5 o'clock come for them pay, all of them get one whole a day pay. When the one them where the farm owner they take on first come now for get them pay, them things them would have get more money, but every one of them get the normal day pay too. So when them get them pay, them start grumble about what the farm owner they do. Hear them, no? Them workman we come in last. Only 1 hour them work for, and you pay them same like we. After we do most of the work and burn up in the sun whole day, the farm owner answer one of them, friend, after me not thief or no nothing. When they come together and say, I the normal day pay me figure, no? Eh? So take one to forget and go on about no business. And me want give the man where me take on last the same money where me give uno. Me can't do what me want do with for me own money, eh? Or a red eye and a red eye call me kind. So the one when it look so important with their back, gotta go push them up a front. And the one them will look like say are them important with they up a front, and them are go get pushed back.
Let me ask you a question before I even get down into this. Matter of fact, this is even part of it. Are you impressed with the church today? When you look at the church today, are you impressed with it? Is the church something that you look up to or you expect that it should be this way, or you expect you don't expect nothing more from it, or you don't expect it to be on a higher plane, a higher level? What do you think of the church? When I say the church, I don't mean the building. I know you. I don't mean the building or the structure or whatever it is. The church. I'm talking about the people. When you see them, what goes through your mind when you look at the church? Is it a people that you want to be a part of, or a people that you want to stay far from? Are there people that you want to imitate, or are the people that you just, when you see them, you just turn up your nose at the church? Well, The church that you see today is not the same church that Jesus, I shouldn't say was a, but the church that Jesus established. This is not the one that is Christ-like. Because the church that is Christ-like is a church that follow Christ, that follow his way, his teaching, how we move, how we do things. Because when he was down here, he said the Son of Man don't come to serve. Don't come to for people to serve him. But he came that he should be a servant, that he came down here as a servant to serve the people. He was so much as a servant to the people that nobody could recognize him. Even in the garden, one of his own disciples have to come over and kiss him on the cheek so that the soldiers could recognize that he stood out, that he was the, and not stood up, that he was the man that they want, because they can't differentiate him from the rest of the disciples. He was such a servant that even the Pharisees, religious people, call him some name and say, you hang with publicans and sinners, and you hang out with prostitutes, you are wine bibber, you are a drunkard and whatever, because he hang with the common people. He don't come down here and put himself up to on a pedestal to make himself out to be somebody, even though he was everything. He was the creator of the whole world and the universe and everything that you can think of. He make everything, but he come down here humble and humble himself. Yet still the people that is in position in the church don't know him, because if they know him, they would act like him. And if they were called from him or come from him, or I should say, if he was the one who sent them out into his field to work, they would have known better. But you see, these people today make themselves out to be something that they are not. They give themselves titles and positions, the same thing that the scribes and the Pharisees were doing and they're famous for. Giving themselves titles, and they love to be seen in the marketplace. They love to, when people see how they pray and how they worship and so on. But when Jesus called them, he called them hypocrites. These people who are in the church today, and when I say in the church today, who are in leadership position, who's supposed to know better. And if you are a leader in the church, automatically you're supposed to be a servant. That's what, according to how Jesus set it up, that if you want to be a leader, if you want to be a person who in high position, you have to be a servant. It's not like how the world set up things and how the world do their things. If you are executive, if you are the president or vice president of a company or whatever, everybody must look upon at you as some big thing, as some great things. And when people come, they move out. And when you come, people move out of your way. And you know, if you say pass me this, they pass you this, just because they don't want to lose their job or whatever, or they give you certain respect. But those who are in the church, who are bishops and elders and so on in the church, they're not supposed to behave themselves in that sort of way. But they should humble themselves, walk in humility. That's why Jesus said, those who big up themselves and put themselves in certain position, they're going to find themselves in the back. They're going to find themselves they're going to find themselves in a position when they stand before God and they think that they're going to be called up and God going to elevate them and exalt them because of their position. They're going to see that the little man that was in their church that they're paying no attention to, who they think that was insignificant, and this man don't work nothing, this man don't give no offering, this man don't do anything. He's going to take him and big this man up and put him up front. While this person who's a bishop and who everybody adore down here and who everybody always call their name is not going to be nothing much, because they did not humble themselves. He that humble himself shall be exalted, and he that exalt himself shall be abased. And we find that we have too many people in the church who are exalting themselves and putting themselves up to be something. And that's one of the things that Jesus was talking about also. The man of sin gonna come who exalt himself and this man exalt himself so much that he put himself in the place of God. Some of these people, some of these bishops and pastors they don't say it out of their mouth, but they act as if they want people to worship them. And some of them want people to do this for them and they want, if you check them out, that's exactly what they want. They want the people to come down and worship them. When they're in the church, they want the people to call out their name. Thank you, Bishop so-and-so, for praying for me. And thank you, Bishop so-and-so, for doing this. If it wasn't because of you, this thing wouldn't happen. And if it wasn't because of you, that thing couldn't go forward and whatever. And they like to big them up and exalt them as if they're something. And only praise and those exaltation supposed to go towards God. But these people I would not rebuke these people. I said, don't do that. I'm just a man like you. Be like Paul. When they want to burn incense to Paul, Paul run out there in front of the crowd and rip him close. And what Paul did, and show himself that I'm just a man. Other people back in the days would throw ashes and dust upon themselves and humble themselves before the people them and show the people them that I'm just a man. Don't do that. That kind of things should only be done to the Lord. That kind of praise should only be to God, not to no man. But they don't stop them because they love it. They love to have it so. So these people come down and they expect to get more pay than what the other people who are small in the church. These people who are nothing in the church. They say, well, now I stand before God. I'm going to get this kind of pay. I'm going to get this kind of, I'm going to get some kind of accolades and He's going to big me up. And they find out that God take the person who they think is insignificant and push them up front. And a lot of these are caused by the people who are in the church. They like to have it so. Can you see? When it's time for prayer and stuff like that, they always run. I want Bishop so-and-so to pray for me. I want Elder so-and-so to pray for me. I want Apostle so-and-so and Doctor so-and-so to pray for me. Because they believe that if these bishops and these doctors and these people with these big names and these big positions, that God is going to hear them. And they find out time and time again that their prayer not answered. They find out time and time again that they're in the same position that they are. Because it's not God that they're looking to bless them. They want the bishop to pray some mighty prayer because he's a prayer warrior. And oftentimes those prayer warriors, all they're doing is worrying because they're not praying. Because the praying that they're praying, God is not hearing. What is a great prayer? What is a powerful prayer? A powerful prayer and a great prayer is a prayer that God answers. It's not the words that people put together and say they're offering up to God. Because God don't hear those things. It's those who humble themselves. That little person that you see in the back of the church that nobody look upon. If you go to that person and ask that person, could they pray for me? I bet you God would hear them. It's just like that man who was in the church. He couldn't even lift up his head because he see that himself was a sinner. He was there and he had a man that was in the church think himself that he's some big thing. And he walk out the church the same way he walk in. And his sins was not forgiven. But this man beat his hand upon his chest and said, oh God, be merciful unto me, a sinner. And God hear his prayer. I heard his prayer. If we humble ourselves, God will hear us. But if we exalt ourselves, God will not hear us. No matter how mighty you think your prayer is.